Most gardeners feed their plants the same way all season long. They buy a bag of fertilizer in spring, apply it generously at planting time, and then either keep applying the same thing every few weeks or stop feeding entirely and hope that initial application carries them through to fall. Both approaches cost you food. The first one overfeeds at the wrong time. The second one starves the plant during its most productive phase. And the reason both fail is the same. They treat feeding as a single activity instead of a system that changes as the plant changes. A tomato seedling just planted into the ground needs completely different nutrition than a tomato plant loaded with ripening fruit in August. A pepper plant pushing its first flowers needs different support than a pepper plant that has been producing for 6 weeks. Feeding your garden the same thing at every stage is like eating the same meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 4 months and expecting peak performance. It does not work. And the cost shows up in ways most gardeners never connect to feeding. Small fruit, delayed ripening, excessive foliage with little production, blossom end rot, and weak plants that attract pests. I made every one of these mistakes for 3 full seasons before I realized that feeding is not about how much you apply. It is about what you apply and when. In this video, I'm going to show you how plant nutrition actually works across the season, what to feed at each stage, and the 3 feeding mistakes that quietly reduce your harvest by 30% or more. Stay to the end, because mistake number 3 is the one almost every gardener makes, and it's the most expensive by far. The first thing to understand is that plants need different nutrients at different growth stages, and the 3 primary nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, do completely different jobs. Nitrogen drives leaf and stem growth. It is what makes plants bigger, greener, and more vigorous. Phosphorus supports root development and flower and fruit production. It signals the plant to shift from growing to reproducing. Potassium strengthens cell structure, improves disease resistance, and supports overall plant health under stress. Every fertilizer has 3 numbers on the label, the NPK ratio, and those numbers determine what signal you're sending to the plant. This is where mistake number 1 happens. Most gardeners use a high nitrogen or balanced fertilizer all season long because nitrogen produces the most visible results. Plants look bigger, leaves look greener, growth looks impressive, but during the fruiting stage, that same nitrogen is working against you. When nitrogen stays high after the plant has reached full size and started flowering, it continues pushing leaf growth instead of fruit production. The plant gets bushier, but it delays flowering, sets fewer fruit, and diverts energy away from what you're actually trying to harvest. I grew the tallest, greenest tomato plants in my neighborhood for 2 straight seasons, and they produced about half the fruit of my neighbor's smaller plants. The difference wasn't effort. It was timing. I kept feeding nitrogen all season. He stopped once flowering began. My plants looked better. His produced more food. Here's what feeding should actually look like across the season. Phase 1 is establishment. The first 2 to 3 weeks after transplanting or after seedlings emerge. During this phase, the plant needs nitrogen to build its root system, stem structure, and leaf canopy. This is the one time when a balanced or slightly nitrogen-heavy fertilizer makes sense. A light application of something like 10-10-10 or compost tea is enough to get the plant started. Do not overfeed here. More is not better. Phase 2 is the transition, when the plant reaches about 75% of its full size and begins forming flower buds. This is the most important feeding window, and most gardeners miss it. At this point, you need to shift away from nitrogen and toward phosphorus and potassium. A ratio like 5-10-10 or 4-8-4 tells the plant to redirect energy into flowering and fruit production. Bone meal is a simple, effective phosphorus source at this stage. A light side dressing when flowers first appear gives the plant exactly what it needs at the right moment. Phase 3 is production. when the plant is actively setting and ripening fruit. During this phase, potassium becomes critical. It supports fruit development, improves quality, and strengthens the plant under the stress of heavy production. If you keep feeding nitrogen here, you get more leaves and less fruit. If you stop feeding completely, the plant runs out of energy during its most productive window. Both reduce yield. Mistake number 2 is feeding on a calendar instead of feeding based on plant stage. Many gardeners fertilize every 2 weeks or once a month, regardless of what the plant is actually doing. But plants do not grow on a schedule. A plant that's stalled in cold soil is not at the same stage as one that took off immediately. Feeding them the same way at the same time guarantees one is being fed too early and the other too late. The better approach is simple. Watch the plant. Feed at transplant. Feed again when flower buds appear. That's your signal to shift to phosphorus. Feed again when fruit begins to form. That's your signal to increase potassium. The plant tells you when it needs the change. You don't need a calendar. You need awareness. When I switched from calendar feeding to stage-based feeding, the difference was immediate. My tomatoes flowered earlier because they got phosphorus at the right moment instead of 2 weeks before or after. My peppers set more fruit because they were not getting nitrogen during their flowering phase, and my overall yield increased noticeably even though I was using less total fertilizer than before. Better timing always beats more input. Mistake number 3, and the most expensive one, is ignoring the soil and feeding only the plant. Most gardeners think fertilizer is plant food, but in a healthy garden, the soil is what feeds the plant. Bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms break down organic matter and convert nutrients into forms roots can actually absorb. When that system is active, the soil becomes a continuous nutrient delivery system. Synthetic fertilizers bypass that system. They feed the plant directly, but do nothing to build the biology that sustains long-term fertility. Over time, the soil weakens, and plants become dependent on constant inputs. The moment you stop, performance drops. The fix is shifting your focus from feeding the plant to feeding the system. Compost is the foundation, not because it's high in nutrients, but because it fuels the biology that makes nutrients available. A 1 to 2 inch layer in spring, followed by a light refresh during the season, keeps that system active. Then you add targeted feeding only when needed. Phosphorus at flowering, potassium at fruiting. Compost feeds the system. Targeted inputs support key moments. Together they create a garden that produces more food with less effort. I made this shift 3 seasons ago and my fertilizer use dropped by more than half while my yields increased. The difference wasn't adding more, it was finally feeding the system instead of fighting it. If you want to see how feeding fits into the complete garden system that manages water, pests, soil, and production together, watch the garden system video next.